Good morning, everybody. Ciaccio here. Happy Monday to everybody. I do these calls every single Monday, and it's just kind of amazing how people call and say, Joe, I'm kind of happy with the call you're doing today. Joe, I want you to do a call on this here. Had an agent call me this morning and said, Joe, you're going to talk about daylight savings time. What is there to talk about? It's just the time went up 1 hour. Well, let me kind of tell you in detail that I briefly told this agent. My thought process is that the daylight savings time, yeah, you get an extra hour, all this stuff here. Yet it's a psychological thing that if you go knock at somebody's door at 7 o'clock today when the sun's out, people are going to open the door. If you go knock on somebody's house last month at 7 o'clock in the dark, you're going to get a whole lot more resistance, and probably I'm not going to answer the door. I don't realize or I don't recognize who that person is. So even if you're a phone dialer making appointments or selling by phone, in my mind, they still see as daylight. I feel they're more apt to want to answer their phone. Now, granted, people eat dinner 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock. So you got to kind of work that into your mindset when you go to somebody's house. Now, I've heard pros and cons on what I'm going to tell you. And again, this is something we discuss. You handle it the way you feel is best for you, because I'm a firm believer, every area is different. I've worked in many, many states, within many towns, and even in Tampa, Florida. I live in Tampa, and I've worked down in Miami, and the people are just different. We're still under the state of Florida, but yet the areas you're in, the ethnicities that you're working in, is just different. So you've got to work it to where it feels best for you. When you go to a door or you're on the phone with somebody, I like to, at later times of the night, after 6 o'clock at night, I think I'm kind of encroaching on their personal time. Okay? My comfort zones on knocking on a door is from 9 a.m. until 6. That's where I feel that it's allowed in my brain. That's how my brain operates. That's what makes me feel comfortable. I rode with an agent a long time ago, a manager a long time ago with one of the carriers. He said, Joe, let's start knocking on the doors at 7:30 in the morning because seniors get up early. Man, I just didn't feel comfortable doing that there. We knocked on some doors. Some were receptive and some people weren't. So again, it all depends on the area that you're in. Now, back to what I was going to say. When I go to a door, if it's earlier than 9 because for whatever reason I'm early, or if it's after 6, I like to start off, instead of saying, hello, my name is Joe, you sent a card in, okay? I'd like to start off and say, listen, I'm sorry for knocking on your door at this time, yet you had sent this card in. I've tried calling you, I've tried door knocking you, and you're unable to get a hold of. So please take my apology that I'm here only because you wanted me here, okay? Understand when you're on the phone, which is not the same as being face-to-face, you're still encroaching on their time. You're still knocking on their door, you're still calling them late. So if you're calling somebody, I like to start off with a little bit of an apology. And to me, it's not a sign of weakness or a sign of you're not going to make a sale. You don't want that person to hang the phone up because, believe it or not, they may not remember you sending the card in. I go to people's houses where it's got their signatures, and I know every one of you can attest to what I'm saying. They'll look at you as if you're from Mars with that piece of paper. Look at you, I remember sending that card in. It wasn't me. And you show them the card, and they still says, isn't that your handwriting? Isn't that your phone number? A lot of people, I'm going to say at least 75% of the people that we do business with, I put into a category of being a responder. They see something, they think there's something for free, they think you're going to mail it to them, they think they're going to get some sweepstake winning, they just fill it out. Our job is to bring out the need, to find a little bit of money, and just be nice and show them the value of speaking with you and what they're going to need this for down the road. Door knocking at nighttime. I don't care who you are, if you 6 7 or you walk around with like a knife and a gun, you must be careful at all times when you're door knocking somebody's house, okay? Because you don't know what's behind that door. To me, it's kind of like going on a Broadway stage, and when they open the curtains up, is the front door opening, you have no idea what's going to be behind you. So we must always be cautious when we're going to a house. You must read that person when you're at the door, especially if you're a lady. You need to be cautious. Our world is changing. That's all I'm going to say. Everybody can agree with that there. So we need to kind of think, be more safe. When you knock on a door, no matter what time it is, stand back about a good 8, 9, or 10 feet. They can still hear what you're saying. You're giving them that comfort zone that you're not on top of them. You're learning them. You're feeling comfortable because you've got no idea what's behind that door. So just go slow. Now, when it comes to daylight savings times, in Florida, in the middle of the summertime, it gets dark around 9 o'clock at night. So we've got agents that knock all the way up till 8:30 at night. It depends on you. Depends on how hungry you are. Depends on how bad you want to make a sale. Depends if you want to order more of these, but you got to go through these first. Knocking on a door late to me is no problem at all. No problem at all. Okay? Providing you stand back. My thoughts are apologize for being there so late. I tried calling you before. I've called you. Door knocked, you haven't been home. You must work a lot of hours. Let them feel that you are apologetic for coming to their house, because now they feel they're in control. They feel that you're stooping down to them by apologizing. And all you're doing is, I want to gain entry, I want to make a presentation, and I would like to make a sale. So we've got to sit and think, do we want to be big and macho to say, hey, I'm here, you send the card in, which does work, or do you want to kind of take the more passive, less aggressive way to be a little bit more sympathetic to get in the house? Again, that's strictly up to what you guys feel is necessary when you're knocking on a door. Nobody knows your area better than you. Now, here in Tampa, Florida, we're almost all city. You go outside some areas, you get like some country folks, you get like roads off the side of the road, houses back off the side of the road. Those houses there, I treat differently because of where they're located. The people probably are the same, yet it's what my brain functions. Because if your brain is not functioning in a go way, with the power to sit and change it based on the area you're in, the personality of the people you're there, you need to work on that a whole lot more. What we do by providing information to people with the caveat is to get in their house and make a sale. We cannot go into it like other people say, just knock on the door, say I'm coming in, put your foot in the door when they go to close it. I don't do that stuff there. Okay? I don't do that stuff there. I went to a house, it must have been 15, 20 years ago. The door was open because I saw a light in the back, but they had a real dark screen, so I really couldn't see the person's face. So I'm extremely aggressive when I go to a door. This is during the daytime. I'm very aggressive. I want to get in that door because what I do is that when I'm either on the phone or I'm door knocking, I keep a score of how many houses I go to, how many people answer, how many doors I get into, how many full presentations I make, and what sales I get, and referrals. I track all of this stuff because the mere fact is that I need to know where my strengths are, and I need to know when I need to work on something a whole lot better. The only way for me to do that is to keep track, because you're not going to remember all this at the end of the day. I was at the door knocking. He said, ma'am, hello, my name is Joe. You sent this card in. She said, I changed my mind. I don't want anything. So I looked at her. I looked where I thought her eyes were. I said, ma'am, I said, I'm only here because you had filled this card out and you want some free information. She goes, I told you. I need it. I don't want it. I changed my mind. I don't know exactly what she said. Again, to me, that's when the game starts. That's when your salesmanship comes out. Because they say, yeah, come on in, yeah, come on in. They're just letting you in. The hard part of our game is when they're giving you a rebuttal at the door and you try to figure out a way to where you can slide in based on what you can say to the person. I said, ma'am, I said, I'm only in your area today. I said, I'm extremely busy. Just give me 2 minutes of your time and I'll be out of here. She says, leave my property or I'm going to shoot you. And I went, I thought, and I said, you know something? I'm not going to have my butt override my mouth with the possibility this person could be a little bit lost in space. So I retreated. I just pulled it back and I said, you know something? I used to get 25 leads a week. I said, this one lead is not going to kill me, okay? Now you're probably asking yourself, Joe, did you go back and see the person? That particular person, whatever, hit me kind of like the wrong way, and I did not go back, okay? Normally, those things do not bother me because that person could have been having a bad day. You call somebody on the phone, they say, never call me again, they hang up on you. All that means is they may have a personal issue, their child can owe them money he didn't pay, they could have had a paycheck that bounced. You don't know. So the nice part about daylight savings time is that you can see the people a little bit later. Even when you're calling them on the phone, if they're sitting watching TV, they got a sliding glass door, they got the sun outside, they're sitting at the dining room table just getting done with dinner and their phone rings. I think subconsciously when it's daytime, people are more apt to want to speak to us because it's daytime. Now 7 o'clock is 7 o'clock, 7:30 is 7:30. Yet it's a mindset that we get, okay? I do not like knocking on the dark. I just don't like doing it, okay? You must be extremely cautious because, again, you don't know what's behind that, okay? I don't like doing it. Now, you guys may say, Joe, I got no problem with it. You know, you big and bad. Why don't you like doing it? Everybody has their zones in their heart, their soul, and their stomach on what they can do. If I got an appointment at 6:30, I got no problem with that at all. But for me to cold call somebody, it's not for me, okay? And I'm supposed to be the leader of the pack and be tough and tell you guys to do this stuff here. What you guys will learn working with me is that I'm going to be as truly transparent as transparency can be. Because I tell you things, I share things with you that I believe in, that I know will work. Knock on a door at nighttime, is it a bad thing to do? Not at all. Not at all. Okay? Especially if it's an apartment complex is lit up. You go into a condo where it's lit up. You go into a mobile home park that's well lit. Total different story. But yet to go to a single family dwelling all by itself with no lights on the outside, no lights on the front of the house, I get a little eerie on that there. Now, do I go back to those houses during the daytime? Yes. Okay. If they don't answer, do I go back at nighttime again? No. What I do is that somebody invented a little sticky card called a delivery notice. So anybody's house I go to, nights, mornings, weekends, whenever, if I go there the first time and they don't answer the door, I'll come back again. If they're not there on the second try, I'm going to leave a little yellow delivery notice on their door, which is very similar to what UPS, FedEx, all those other big boys leave them. I'm leaving it. My name, I put the person's name on top. Margaret Jones, Joe, I put down second attempt, third attempt, and then I put down my phone number. They do call you back. We have those if you want. You can go online to our website or call Jay or Heather up. I don't know what they cost, but they're very, very inexpensive. And it's a tool that you can use so when somebody is not home and they live out in the middle of nowhere land, or you don't feel comfortable going there because it's dark all the time you're around there, leave that delivery notice. It works. Now, I'm going to go one step into delivery notices. I keep all my delivery notices on the passenger side sun visor. So when somebody calls me, hold on one second, provided I'm not driving, pull all of those down, look at the caller ID. I said, yes ma'am, I see your number on my caller ID. What is your name, please? Francine Garcia. I said, okay, Francine. Yes, I've got a package to deliver to you. May I come by in 20 minutes if you're around there? Or I'm already done for the day. I'm heading home. May I come there tomorrow morning? What time? Good, good, good. Now they're going to ask you what it is. They can't help themselves. You out do the same thing. I said, it's a little package that you requested some information on. And I said, it won't take the drop it off and I'm gone. Tomorrow morning I'll see you at 9 o'clock. So to capture them on the phone, and instead of them asking me 37 times what it is, I try to be a little bit aggressive, a little bit quick on the phone to get them off. I've also told them I put somebody else on hold to answer your phone call. I'll get back with you tomorrow morning. So figure out a way that you can divert from telling them what it is so they don't tell you, oh no, I don't want the information, I don't want it. Even if they do tell you, I don't want it. If they tell you, I changed my mind, I already bought something, my daughter did something for me. Any excuse you say, that they say, thank you, hang up. You do not want to leave a sour note on them. And what you do is that you go back to the house around that same time, and if they ask you, did you call me and I told you don't come, my response will be, I don't believe so. Because if you did, I would not be knocking here. This is a card I just received. One agent said, well, what if they got caller ID and they wrote your number down? Well, that's never happened to me before. Okay? Be more aggressive today, guys. Work a little bit later. Work a Saturday once in a while. Work whatever you feel the amount of money you need to make. We've got more competition. We've got more agents out there. You've got more good agents, and you've got some more poor agents out there who don't say the whole truth, who just make sales. So you need to put on your thinking cap when you go to visit with somebody, not knowing if the person just bought from somebody who just started, who didn't explain everything properly. Because what I've seen, and I saw this here about 2 weeks ago, a client called me and said, Joe, I bought something from somebody else. So my insides are getting all wound up. And I said, no big deal. But what that told me is, Joe, you're not staying in front of your clients to where they call you. So I did a campaign. Jay pulled me all the clients we've had in the last 2 years, pulled them all out, got their addresses, boom, 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 mailed them all a little card stating, I'm still in business with my company card in there. If you need anything, call me. Okay? So a lot of times when things happen, it opens your eyes up to see what you're not doing correctly to get yourself back in the game. She says, Joe, I bought this policy from somebody else. I said, I understand. She had moved out of Tampa, about 150 miles away. And I said, no problem. I said, I totally understand things happen, but I'm still here. How can I help you? She says, well, I got this from this person. I just don't feel comfortable about it. I said, well, why don't you get the policy out? She's okay. And as she's walking through the policy, I said, how big a policy did you get? She said, I got one for $10,000. She told me the premium. When she got the policy, she told me who it was from. I said, okay. I said, open it up to the first page, and it should say your name, depending on the company, your name, the face amount. The second page should show you the cash value, all those other little things. And she goes, Joe, it's only for $7,400. I said, really? It's okay. So what happened there was that the agent was pitching her a $10,000 immediate benefit. The client didn't qualify for the immediate, so he kept the same premium that they had discussed for the $10,000 immediate and put her into a graded plan. That's happening more and more, guys. It's happening more and more. So, whenever you go to a house, ask for the policy. Do a review. Something you may not need anymore. Let me just look at it, make sure you got a great deal. And if you did, I've done my job, and I'm going to tell you congratulations. If you're on the phone with somebody, it's kind of hard to look at it. Say, do me a favor, get that policy, and let me kind of walk you through it to make sure that what the agent proposed to you and told you is what you got. I'm going to say 75% of the time they'll get up and do it. It all depends on your voice inflection, depends on how you come across, depends on how nice you are. It depends if they got a trust in you when you're speaking on the phone. When you're on the phone, even when you're in the home, you need to tap those brakes, you need to talk a little bit slower. You need to kind of think before you speak. And one thing I will tell you guys, I've said this a gazillion times, is that when you're speaking with somebody and you're unsure what you're going to say the next second, instead of making funny noise like the and the ahs and you know and what do you think about, stop, regroup, think, and move on. Your mouth does not always have to be moving. Your mouth can take a break. And here's the beauty about you stopping and smelling the roses. Everything you told them, you're letting them digest it. You're letting them taste what you said. Because if you're constantly talking like I'm doing right now, and you're making notes, it's kind of hard to make notes because I'm saying something new every second. Think about it. In the house with a client, you're going 97 miles an hour. Do you expect them to remember every single thing you're saying as you're talking to them on the phone or in person? We think they are. So it pays to stop, pause, relax. Very good question. Let them digest everything. And it also helps you regroup to see if you're going out in left field on a tangent you shouldn't have gone on, to come back to be right down the middle. So, with all that said, back to daylight savings time. Knock on the doors. Show a little empathy when you go to a door if it's nighttime. If they're giving you a little bit of hesitation at the door, just take a step back further, because you don't know if they're giving you a hard time because you're a stranger, or as you are. You don't know if they've had somebody come to the door that was too aggressive. You don't know any of these things here. So just be nice, lower your voice, be more humbling on the phone or in person, and I know for a fact you guys will make more sales. You got any questions? If you want those delivery notes, get with us. We love you. We appreciate you. And hit them hard, guys, and be safe out there. Bye-bye.